Oh, no, no, 100% food.
Morning, sir. Wanted to give the chaplain a pocket bag today. Just here, just here. Okay, real quick, just to walk through. So I have the officers lined up over here. Brian's going to be here. You're going to make your remarks. Secretary's going to make remarks. Brian, scenario. So just get some right here where the next are. Yes, sir. And then they're going to give it a photo. Yes. They just walk back around to their seat. Yes, on the stage over there with it so everything. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here to see you, you know. You know, she was going to be here.
Oh, my youngest daughter, she's more honest. She's more aware
Great, how are you?
Yeah, that's what I said. If anybody goes back, it's me.
We may have to
Sit on the end.
sit on the other side of the chief.
Y'all let me know where.
Give them another thing.
Wherever you want to go, boss. I think they're good. Good morning, everyone. So
It's parking.
Yeah, that part.
No, we're ready to go now. That's what I heard. Can you hear that?
No, she changed her mind.
My joint
She got to wait.
Today?
What are you doing?
I don't know, someone asked us to do a stuff presentation for us at the moment.
Hey, wait.
No, I'm just
You know what happened?
came down to me.
Your people.
They said he insisted.
You know what?
Okay. Okay. Okay, well, next time Brian says, I'm going to say,
When you work up there. Yeah, you can. I just said, it's a poker face. Okay, good. It ain't working.
no, send it to me. I got something here.
I will say, you know, what the word you want me to say back?
See you after this week.
Okay, I got you. Okay, we'll do. So when you come with me,
Okay. 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 Yes.
so we wait.
Okay. Okay, so let's come real quick. So we're going to do here. You're going to come to where this tape is, and then they'll come over one by one to get their certificate.
Yeah, right. So this is what I'm doing. So the next one is one by one to get their certificate. I'm gonna be on the back.
To the left.
What I want to do
Unless you do this out and I have you over the recipient will be in the middle, you'll be on the right side.
I'll be on the left. First picture.
Yeah, if she just staged over here, that was
That's what I'm saying. 60, yeah. It would be good. I hope that, yeah, the Chiefs, I want them after they come over here. So
And then I bring you over here and give you the certificate. I'll be behind you.
okay, that's fine.
I'm standing on that side, so the camera's got to go over too, so I'm like cutting you guys off. So
I'm fine with that. That'll be, yeah, so all,
and I would like the audio that the newsies are getting is coming from the podium, so if anyone has anything to say, they can just step up to the podium. Renee, are we just sitting here since we got 10 extra minutes? What do you want to do?
Oh, no, when it goes down, you guys will this side is made here. So after they get their don't yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Look, no, you got me. I said, but then I said, oh, I can't let her. I said, because then you will always do it. So I was like, and then he come out with a vengeance. Well, you know, there's 40 and 40 out there.
okay, that's fine. So on the run of the program,
Okay, and I
when
need
we
to ask
finish,
you about that.
we're gonna have a end of pitch over here. Where's this media questions happening? Is it down here, right here? Yeah, right here. Okay. They might want they might want
Yeah, I got that. Yeah.
But then when we get our stuff,
we already worked.
Yes.
like that, then if you finish those, if you finish,
Like now.
we gotta do all six. So we got, once you finish 6,
Got that.
you give me 15. So I just kind of, and then on Saturday you get an extra 5
For early bird. But the question is, once, like if I'm in the middle of one, if I'm in the middle of
don't get the second. So it's like
Gotta wait.
90%.
make mistakes.
Okay, go ahead. Do your thing.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Brian Fisher, and I'm the manager of the Media Relations Division for the Prince George's County Police Department. And we're here today to recognize the training, implementation, and excellence of the Special Operations Division Marine Unit and Underwater Recovery Divers in response to the catastrophic collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore on Tuesday, March 26, 2024. We grieve with the families that lost their loved ones on that day, and in that regard, I'd like to call up Chaplain Anderson to say a prayer.
Good morning. Let us pray. Almighty God, in the aftermath of the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge, we come before you with heavy-hearted optimism, seeking your presence and guidance. We lift before you the men who died as they worked, oblivious to their danger, as well as our first responders who rushed toward danger while others flee. Grant them all strength, courage, and wisdom as they navigate through the darkness of this crisis. Bless their minds, hands, eyes, legs, feet, as they reach out to rescue and restore normalcy to a shipping channel, a harbor, a port, and the global economy that are reeling from this accident. Heal the circumstance, I pray. Surround them all with your protection, shielding them from harm as they selflessly serve others. Give them clarity of mind in the face of chaos and peace in the midst of ruin. Help them each to be a beacon of hope amidst despair, a light in the darkness that shines with your grace. We ask your guidance and wisdom for all involved in the aftermath, that healing may begin and your peace may reign. Comfort the families who grieve and the workers who are persistently crafting recovery strategy and processes. In their moments of exhaustion and despair, remind them that they do not walk this path alone. May they feel your presence beside them, whether in the crane, on a ship, or under the water, strengthening them in this, their time of need. Let your healing touch be felt in every corner of this tragedy, I pray. Amen and amen.
I'd now like to introduce to everybody the Prince George's County Chief of Police, Malik Aziz.
Good morning. Good morning. Man, this room is dead. Y'all gonna talk louder than that in about 30 minutes, right? And some of you might. Let me say a few words here, a couple of things. First, let's just remember the people who lost their lives in the Key Bridge horrific event that happened on March 26th. It's important for us to remember those people who were working, doing jobs that are very difficult, who went to work expecting to go home. I think police relate to this, that you go to work and then your family expecting you to return home. For all of those who wear this badge, we understand that they went to work was working hard, and every understanding, taking a break from that work to make that bridge, safe, and then the horrific event occurred, and they lost their lives. So let's remember them and their families first and foremost. Second, before I talk about them, I really want to thank our Marine unit for answering the call. Thank you so much. I'll have more to say, but I really appreciate you guys for answering the call. And this morning, we are joined by the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer, Mr. Stanton, over here to my left, and our leader, County Executive, Miss Angela also Brooks. They found time in their busy schedule at our request to come down here this morning to make this awards presentation. So let me say we give out awards so many times, you know, a year. I know Mr. Fisher, Brian Fisher, the manager, Renee, Peace Call, where's she at? Okay, right there in Zale. I appreciate you guys so much because we ask you to do things really quickly and you always get them done. And so we appreciate that. It takes a lot of planning and a lot of standing outside my door waiting on me to sign things and pushing me. And I probably haven't thanked you and your team enough for making those things happen. But I did get a request, and that request was, in the future, when I tell you to do something, you go run it by your people and ask them if it's okay. So they told me that. Why y'all laughing over there? So they gave me some real directions. So for you to go check with them. Marine Unit. Thank you for answering the call. I know in our profession, we don't necessarily have to have some mutual aid agreement or interlocal agreement. It's just that when our brothers and sisters call, then we answer. And you got a call, and you immediately went to a location where you knew it was going to be dangerous. So the police in the room, we know this, that we get calls of uncertainty, that we know that we're going to have to answer. But your training and your dedication to Prince George's County Police Department and to our citizens, our residents, that we know you're well trained and you were able to go to that location, work in a team environment with multiple agencies and in a unified command structure, and go and deliver some sense of resolve to the families who were waiting, and that glimmer of hope that we always have when we're actually attempting to make it good, and we always hold out hope on that. Now, my experience, I feel important for us on our experience with the Marine Unit, because you guys have treated me really well. You took me out on the boat, scared me half to death, rolled me over choppy waters. I did treat you guys to dinner though, the ones, so, and you showed me up and down the waterways of the beauty of the DMV and the beauty of Prince George's County. But it was then, and I speak to Lieutenant Perry and the team, that it was then that your value was realized. And I think we reassured you guys that this was, the Marine Unit was a priority for me and my belief in it. And my very amateurish scuba diving adventures that I had myself that didn't pan out. I look over, I know Chief Hale over here, Assistant Chief Hale, he loves to get out there in the murky waters. He led our dive team where we came from. But you guys excelled at, you surpassed that, and you represent Prince George's County really well. And so for that, I can't thank you enough. I can't say my appreciation enough. And we didn't want to wait another 8 months, a year, to come back to what we already knew what needed to happen. And that was for you to stand here today and be recognized by the leadership of Prince George's County, the leadership. But can everyone who worked in SOD or works in SOD, was over the Marine Unit or touched them at one point, can you guys stand up? I know it's a couple in the room. I know Durham is back there. Okay, I know the rest of them at Northwest Command School. Yeah, they learning something today too. And thank you for your past leadership and everything that you've done. With that said, I don't want to delay this program any further, but the words are very important. The actions follow the words, and so continue to keep doing the great job you're doing. I know you guys are still out there, working in some rotation, and the job is not yet complete. So your representation from the executive team to the leadership in the room, I just want to say we thank you very much. So with that, I'll bring up our leader, our county executive, if you don't mind coming to the podium. here, and thank you for coming out and joining us in your busy workday to share a few words with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. First, want to say thank you so much to Chief Aziz for his absolutely incredible leadership. He has really done an amazing job, and want to thank him so much for that. And want to say to each of you what an honor it is to be in this room with you again today. This is a room and a moment that we thought we'd take to express our profound gratitude to all of you, and most especially to our team, our dive team here. But even in the midst of that, we are ever mindful that there are families who are still waiting for the recovery of their loved ones from those waters. And so we haven't forgotten that this really is a very solemn day. It continues to be, because what occurred on March 26th is that some family members lost their loved ones who will never come home. And so we're never forgetting that. To Lieutenant Perry and to this incredible team, Chief used a few words a moment ago, and he said that you are well trained and you are able. And I can say that honestly for everyone in this room, but this team, I can tell you, we are so Prince George is proud of each of you. I had the great opportunity to go out the day before they actually conducted this dive, and I can tell you on that day that the spirit that was present there of collaboration and caring, it was just tremendous. It was absolutely tremendous. And so the words that you are well trained and you are able continue to resonate because it's what you exhibited that day. And we often say how grateful we are for your sacrifices, that in times of trouble you run toward the trouble when the rest of us stand back. And I think what we are most proud of on this day is that the rest of our state, and I dare say the rest of the nation, got to see what we see each and every day in all of you. It's the bravery, it is the caring, it's the selflessness, it's the sacrifice. And so I am proud that the rest of the state was able to see what I see in you every single day. I already know, and I'm a little cocky about Prince George's County's Police Department, if the truth is told, because I know just how extraordinary all of you are. But I am so proud that we got to share that with the rest of the state, and we were able to demonstrate to the people of Baltimore our care for them, and the fact that we would show up for them in their time of need, and that we will continue to do so until we recover the others who are in that water. We are committed, and until we rebuild that bridge, we are one Maryland. And I want to just thank you all for showing up so boldly and so capably for the men and women of Baltimore City. I know we did so also with the Maryland State Police Department, but it was just extraordinary. So again, we are here to express our gratitude and to say to you, we are so thankful. We know the work is not over yet, and so we will continue to pray for success in this mission, continue to pray for you and for all of your colleagues, for your safety and well-being, and again, on behalf of all of us in Prince George's County and me and specifically, I just want to say thank you so much. And that we are really proud of you and really grateful for your sacrifices and for your work. Thank you.
Thank you, County Executive. And now we're going to have our presentations. Officers, when your names are called, please line up to my right. I will call you up each individually to receive your awards from Chief Aziz. When you receive your award, please render a hand salute to Chief Aziz. Lieutenant Charles Perry. Now that I need the certificate, thank you.
No,
Go ahead, please give the certificate.
But now what are we doing?
we're supposed to read the scenario.
I'm going to do that
first.
afterwards.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm going to read their scenario while our commander and Lieutenant Perry is up with the chief. On March 26, 2024, at 4 a.m., the Prince George's County Police Department received an urgent mutual aid request from the Maryland State Police. A cargo ship had collided with the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, causing a catastrophic bridge collapse in the Patapsco River with people in the water. Within a few short hours, these officers were on the scene, ready to provide their experience and assistance with the rescue, now known to be missing construction workers that had been working on the bridge. They willingly faced danger and went into the open waters of the Patapsco River, knowing that it was full of twisted, sharp metal, an unstable cargo vessel with loose containers that were leaking, and large concrete debris that was continuing to fall in the water from the bridge. The tragic result of the initial dive operation was the recovery of 2 deceased individuals found in their vehicle approximately 60 feet of water. While this chain of events describes a horrific tragedy, it also highlights the performance by our dedicated law enforcement officers from the Prince George's County Police Department, along with multiple other agencies working together hand in hand during this rescue and then recovery mission. For their response and bravery, it is the Chief's honor to present these officers with the Chief's Award. In addition, for their excellent teamwork, they've also earned a Unit Citation Award. And so Lieutenant Perry will receive the first award. Sergeant Scott Hamilton. Sergeant Scott Hamilton. Sergeant Nicholas Fiore. Sergeant Jonathan Eiler. Corporal Ryan Minnick. Corporal Jeremy Bourget. Corporal Jeremy Jordan. Corporal John Clayton. Corporal Robert Lee. Corporal John Bonacorsi. This concludes our awards presentation, and let me just say a couple things. We're going to have Lieutenant Perry come up to the podium and take a few questions from the media. I would like to just say that this is an active and ongoing investigation. It involves our federal and local law enforcement partners in Baltimore. There are questions that we will not be able to answer. We will defer to Governor Moore's office and for his next press conference. Let me also add that on behalf of the Prince George's County Police Department, we would like to thank you, the media, and I look back and I speak to you all every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, and you all called every day asking how our divers were doing, asking if everything was okay, and concerned. You showed your concern for our officers. And for that, we truly appreciate you. And you were standing out in the pouring rain, too. I mean, you are the conduit to the public. You are there always to inform and help us keep our citizens here in Prince George's County apprised of the news that's breaking every day. And for that, we thank you. I'd like to invite the Chief and Lieutenant Perry up to the podium here to take a couple questions from the press.
Hold up there. Before we gonna take a picture here first with the group, so they can sit down.
Okay.
Group picture.
Okay, they want to take a group picture first, and then the officers everybody can sit down.
Line us up.
Don't wreck my boat out there.
No, you were way too late for
These
that.
must be my two.
You good? You got your phone?
Yeah, no, that's not my phone. That must be yours.
No, my phone's over there. That's his phone. Thank you so much, man. You good? Okay, go ahead. So I'll just do it when he finishes.
Okay. Okay, Lieutenant Perry. Reporters, if you'd like to all come up here and ask a question.
Good morning, everyone. Just so everybody knows by now, my name is Lieutenant Charles Perry. I have 28 years of service with the Prince George's County Police Department. I am currently the commander of the Marine Unit, the National Harbor Unit, and the Underwater Recovery Team. So as we well know, what the events happened on March 26th. I could say that speaking with all the officers this morning before we came up here, that we are truly humbled by giving us this award. We pretty much, it's just what we do, right? As police officers, we run to a danger. And this incident reminded us very much of the incident we had back in 2018 on the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, where we had construction workers that were trapped as well. And there was loss of life on that incident as well. We were able to make a valiant rescue in that incident, but pretty much most of the officers that are still on our dive team were here for 2018 as well, and the Marine Unit. So it was a vivid memory, and we knew what we had to do when we went up there to Baltimore. So their dedication to service, each and one of our command staff is very proud, the Special Operations Division, of their dedication to service on Tuesday. So with that, I guess I'll take some questions.
Sir, the chief spoke to how law enforcement police officers can relate to going to work, wanting to come home that day. Can you talk to me about thinking of that? What were you thinking about when you saw just how enormous this site was, the mangled metal that was described, and then what you were thinking about when your members did in fact positively locate two bodies underwater?
Well, immediately what happens is our training takes into effect. The underwater recovery team trains vigorously with the Maryland State Police. They're our partners in dive. And when we go there, they're put in situations very much like we see on the bridge. And they recover items that are underwater, and they practice for this all the time. So this was just, even though it was real, they reverted right back to the training. So on Wednesday, we were advised that we most likely had no survivors of this incident. So at that point, it became a recovery mission and not a rescue mission. That was told to us by the direction of the Maryland State Police and the governor's office, who is in control of the entire incident.
And then when you learned that your members did in fact locate
When we learned that, yes, then we had to do what we had to do. We had to get those people back to their families. So our divers were ready on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday, they splashed in the water at 6 a.m. And were assisted with the recovery, along with the Baltimore City Police and Maryland State Police.
What was the
Excuse me?
What was it like under there?
Well, I personally didn't dive myself, but we know that the water is very murky. You've got about 1 foot to 2 foot visibility, so you're basically diving almost blind, with the exception of maybe 1 foot of distance. And then as you get deeper, it gets worse. So then your visibility gets diminished. So it's extremely dangerous, especially with all the twisted metal, the roadway, and it's just something that you just got to go by feel.
So kind of answer the question, a couple of questions that I had, but, you mentioned that you didn't go down yourself, but obviously you're debriefing, your members who have been down there. What would you say, we talk about law enforcement facing, traumatic, experiences and trying to separate that, but also, it takes a toll, as some have said, on them as well. What kind of help has there been for those who took part in this and recovered those bodies and things like that? How traumatic has that been for them? Are they able to just sort of, handle it as the job and move on to the next thing?
Well, as police officers, and they're very seasoned officers, to get into the dive unit, it's not a piece of cake. They really need to know their stuff, and they're well prepared. Our training takes us into that area. The guys, we offer them help with our psychological services division. I individually spoke to each one, sat them down, make sure everybody was okay. It's not always pleasant to do what we do. Sometimes police work can get a little dirty. So they took it with stride. They knew what they had to do. They knew their job. And of course, the outcome, we wanted to bring them home alive to their families, but however, unfortunately, that couldn't happen. So they did the next best thing, and to bring closure to the families, bring back those people that are under the water to their families. So far, we've had the 2 that everybody knows about, and we will be, if assisted, if needed to do, we'll bring back the rest.
So what was your reaction when you saw the video of the bridge collapse? A lot of people didn't believe that was even real.
It was almost like a movie. It was almost surreal. It looked like an erector set to me. Although the magnitude of it wasn't realized until you actually got there and saw the enormous size of what we're dealing with, especially the container ship. The container ship is huge. Our boats look like tiny little dots in the water right alongside that ship. So once you get close and realize the magnitude of what you have there, that's when we really realized that this was an extreme catastrophe and a serious incident.
And at what point did you realize you have to get your divers out of there, it's not safe? What was going on at that time?
It was not up to, it was up to Incident Command. Incident Command determined on Tuesday, we still had a lot of movement on the bridge. The bridge was moving and creaking, so was the boat. It was at that point that they, I guess, decided to hold off and use the underwater drones to see if we can find any survivors. And that worked out very well.
I know you mentioned that you guys are trained for this, you do this all the time, but how does it feel to be recognized and be honored today?
We're all pretty humbled. Like I said, it's what we do. It's what we train for. We've had it happen here in Prince George's County on the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, like I stated earlier. So we know it's not something that's impossible. If it happens, we're going to be there. So, and we'll be there again for anything else.
And this team be back out there for the continued recovery efforts?
So currently, we are conducting security details on the bridge. We're assisting the Maryland State Police, and we're under their direction. And then we've been told that once the other vehicles are located, that we could be back to assist with the raising of the vehicles and bringing the people home that are inside.
Take one more question, Jasmine.
Thank you. Were y'all operating in shifts, or how many hours were being dedicated to this last week?
Well, we really didn't go home. We were there from Tuesday to Wednesday night. That's what the type of operation it was. And it wasn't just only us. It was basically every major police department in the state of Maryland who had a dive team or a rescue boat.
Thank you very much. We're going to close that. We have to continue with our meeting, but maybe outside we can answer, but we have to continue with our meeting.
Thank you, Brian.
Lieutenant.
Anything
Thanks.
learned as a
we have one more item to, one more award presentation to give out.